if both parties agree on the payment, they can pay it right now and move forward. So that's what the union is prepared to do.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
A couple weeks ago, we informed you that Warrior Met was trying to make the UMWA pay $13 million. $13 million for, quote, damages incurred over the course of the strike, which included lost production. It's amazing that they even tried to pitch that.
Yeah, that was mind-blowing that they even put that out there on the table.
Totally mind-blowing. They had in this expense report costs incurred before the strike even began. Costs incurred before the strike even began for increased security and things like this. And so, you know, and this came about because back in June, the UMWA and Warrior Met came to a deal, a settlement, where in principle the UMWA agreed to some damages, which they were quoted at $400,000 for things that were actually damaged over the course of the strike, that have been damaged over the course of the strike. But also not even as much admitting guilt as much as they wanted to not subject their members and their members' family to hours of questioning by company lawyers. And that makes sense to me.
It did to me too. I get it. Yeah. I mean, on one level, it's kind of BS. They're having to pay anything at all. But I understand the calculus there.
Yeah, $400,000 and you make it go away. You know, in the grand scheme of things,
if that saves a lot of, you know,
a lot of time, resources, and heartache, you know, then that's fine, and that's what the union wanted to do. But that's what they were quoted. Then Warrior Met came back and was like, actually, you know what? We think it's $13 million.
Totally absurd.
Absurd. Well, the update is that the NLRB came out with their independent estimate. Region 10 came out with their independent estimate last week, pegging it at $435,000, which was in line with the initial estimate. So the UMWA has come out and said we are ready to pay this and move forward. I have not heard, I have not seen if Warrior Met is going to accept that or if they are going to take it to an administrative law judge, because remember, like we said last time, the next step in this process, if the parties did not agree, would be to appeal it to an administrative law judge and get a ruling there. But if both parties agree on the payment, which is now pegged at $435,000 by NLRB Region 10, they can pay it right now and move forward. So that's what the union is prepared to do. We'll let you know what Warrior Met does in the coming weeks, but that is a very good update and a good job by the NLRB Region 10. We appreciate their independent analysis and their disagreement with the absurd request for workers to pay for lost production over the course of a strike.
Absolutely, yeah. So glad to get a little bit of good news there. Just a reminder, you can still donate to the Strike Fund and to the Strike Pantry through UMWA. Really encourage folks to do that if you haven't done that in a while. These folks have been out on strike since April 1st, 2021. And right now, there's no real updates as far as I know in terms of the contract itself. Last updates we received is that Warrior Met was pushing the union to agree that a few dozen of its members would be terminated as part of settling this strike. Wouldn't say which ones, wouldn't say why, you know, what they did, which is just also completely absurd because, you know, I haven't looked at their contract, but presumably it's like any other where there is a process to terminate employees that's already in place. And so if Warrior Met has some evidence that some people did something wrong that rises to the level of termination, then let them go through the process. But to try to strong arm the union into sacrificing a few dozen of their members before even getting a contract is just incredibly damaging to morale, I would imagine, but also just an egregious practice, a bad faith practice on part of the company, which is no surprise.
No surprise. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.